Vaso de agua, Spanish for a glass of water. And good morning, and welcome to another beautiful day here in Chile. We're in Chile. I went straight to work the next day. I am in La Quinta right now. I couldn't do a video early in the morning because I couldn't hold the camera. It's so cold in the mornings here. I think it was -2 or 3 degrees Celsius this morning. Absolutely freezing cold. But I'm still excited to be here in Chile. And it is so good to be home. So, let's go. But today, I'm going to answer a question that I get often. Very, very, very often. And to do this, I'm going to have to tell you a little story. You see, when I was in grade school, I wasn't the smartest kid in the class, but I definitely wasn't the worst kid in the class either. And then when I went to high school, I was blessed to go to a really, really good high school where most people got all A's. Pure 7s. And I felt bad for having a 6.1 or a 6.2, which is like a B average in the United States. I got down on myself because everyone else seemed to do better than me, and I wanted to be better than them, but it never worked out that way. Maybe I should have studied a little bit more. So I remember this day distinctly, when I got my report card back and I got a B- average. And I felt like I was the worst kid in the entire grade school. A B-, by the way, is right around a 6, 5.96. And I felt like I was the worst kid in the entire school. And so I called my parents and I just felt awful, like I should be doing so much better. I'm gonna have to leave the school, they're not going to accept me here because my grades are so low. Not the case at all. A B- is not that bad, but it was the way that I thought at the time. And of course, my parents picked me up and made me feel all better again, just like good parents do. And so, people like to say, the cup is half full or half empty. And, well, it was at that point where I realized the glass is half full. And ever since then, I've had that positive idea in my head because it was just easier that way. Before, I was just worried about grades, I was worried about what people thought of me and what people thought of my grades, and I was worried about saying something in class that maybe somebody didn't agree with. But after that moment, I realized that it didn't matter. And I'm sure that you all have your own story of something significant that happened in your life. I don't know why that was a significant thing that happened in my life, and I don't know why it happened that way. It wasn't a story that's like a groundbreaking story that is crazy and like life-threatening or something like that, but it's something that did change my life, and it made me think of things in a different way. But the reason that I say all of this is because every single time I meet somebody in Linares, they ask me, why Linares? Why would you choose to live here in Linares? And then when I came back to Chile, somebody made the comment of, welcome back to this garbage place. Something along those lines. I don't know how it translates exactly. Don't look at the comment. I'm gonna get rid of it right now. And this whole idea made me think about this glass of water again. In that, well, you can look at things negatively and say, I hate Chile and I hate living here, or wherever you're at in the world, I don't like it. And it is that way. In every part of the world, there is something not so good about every single part of the world. And I can't walk here and say, I am super warm right now. It is, feels like summer out. I'm just gonna take off this jacket here. It doesn't work that way. However, you can make that switch. It's a mental switch that you have to make in order to feel and then act positive in certain situations that may be difficult. I'll also be the first to admit that I am not always the most positive person in the entire world. Elise can attest to that. However, I am in comparison, fairly positive. For instance, I was voted the most optimistic person in my class my senior year of high school. In a class of 120. Not that many. But my point is this. There's good in everything. And sometimes it's harder to find that good in life, especially when you're too cold or too hot. However, there is good there. There's always good and there's always bad every single day, whether it's too hot or too cold outside, or you're not feeling good, or an assortment of millions of other things that happen every single day. Life isn't perfect. Sometimes it takes us sitting down and thinking of things that we are thankful for to actually be thankful for those things. It's crazy how that works. Usually I think about the negative and I dwell on that, and I forget about the positive things. So go ahead and leave anything that you're thankful for right below. And I'll start with 3 things that I'm thankful for. 1, there was a little girl from 1st grade that came up to me today and said, "¿Cómo se dice te amo?" and gave me a big hug. It was so cute. The second thing is, the sunset is incredible. And the third thing is, I am so thankful to be living here in Chile. Not only living here in Chile, but living here with Elise and the 2 dogs. I couldn't be happier. And I love Chile for so many different reasons. So back to the original question then. Why Linares? Well, our church is here, that's number 1. Number 2, our work is here, and without work we couldn't be here. And number 3, I feel like Linares is a hidden gem in Chile. And the mountains are so close to here. In Wisconsin, where I lived in the United States, we didn't have any mountains. You could call them maybe big hills sometimes, but we didn't have these. So that's pretty special to me. To go to the mountains in an hour and a half is pretty cool. And to go to the ocean in another hour and a half is pretty amazing too. I really appreciate that about Linares. And also, there aren't a ton of people who live here, which is pretty nice as well. I'm not a huge fan of the big cities. So Linares, just perfect for me. So I hope you enjoyed the video for today, and if you did, please give it a big old thumbs up. We'll see you guys next time for another adventure, and I cannot wait to see all of the things that you are thankful for in the comments below. But, from Elise.
Ciao.
Ciao, Pascal.